JonnyPink. If you've seen, even if you haven't, I'm a Nikon shooter, and over the years, I've used many different cameras. I've tried Panasonic, I've used Sony's, many Sony's. This is my 6th. But I'm a Nikon shooter. And one thing I absolutely love about Nikon is their color processing. I've used James's D3200. I loved the saturation of the raw files in that. It was wonderful. And the D800 is my favorite for landscapes because it just has a saturation that the D850, the 780, none of the others that I have used have. I like the 850 for wildlife photography because you can zoom in so much, you can crop in so far with with all the megapixels. It's beautiful. What I have liked about Sony over the years is the EVF, and I've said that many times. I love the EVF. And if Nikon had something that was comparable to their 850 and had the EVF, I would probably be all over that. So I'm hoping that at some point there is one of those, and all my old lenses will work wonderfully. My 500 f4 and my 300 2.8, those are amazing lenses. In fact, the 300 2.8 is better than the 500 f4 for clarity when you crop in. Anyway, I have wanted a Sony that to me did those same things, and people have said I am clueless in my comments, and that's okay. But I know what I want. When I take a photo of something, if I can't blow it up to poster size and still have it be crystal clear, then it's not a great shot. So all these shots that I'm going to show you in this, I shot with this A9, and I have to say for the first time, well, wait a minute, this is an older A9, that's old tech now. It is, but I wait for things to get old because when I get them used, like this I got from B&H for next to nothing, it puts it in my price range. The Sony 200 to 600, when this first came out, I bought it, figuring eventually there will be a camera that I might like to use that on, and if not, well, I'll sell it and I won't lose that much money. I prefer to buy things rather than rent, because to me, if I'm going to spend $400 or $500 on a lens or a camera for a week, I'd rather put that towards a purchase, and that's just my opinion on buying over renting. So I bought this lens. I hated it on the A7 III. I thought it was just garbage. The A7 III, to me, was okay. Might be good for portraits, but it's not a wildlife camera. And I haven't been happy with any of the others other than the EVF. I thought the 100 to 400 on one of my A6500 or 6300 was also, it just didn't have the quality and the sharpness that I want. When I shoot wildlife, I usually shoot in auto ISO, and with Nikons I limit it because after a certain point they're kind of terrible, except for the 780, which I found, wow, I can go way up on the ISO and it's still relatively usable. On this one I just let it go wild, and so some of these shots at ISO 6400 are awesome. This A9 is really, really impressive. It is the first Sony that I have been impressed with. I love the way it locks on when you focus something. It does lose it every once in a while, so it's not perfect, and I'm sure the A1 is amazing, but I'm not spending $6,000 to try something. I think the 50 megapixels that it has is this perfect sweet spot for a camera. And we'll see what Nikon comes out with if they ever come out with a Z9. That is what I'm hoping for. But in the meantime, this A9 is a lot of fun. I love the 20 frames a second. I love shooting silently. It's amazing. It really is. So I'm going to show you a bunch of this stuff. I was shooting video handheld just to try it out in cloudy conditions, bright sunlight. I'll give you my final at the end of what I do not like about it. Okay, so just bear with me. Please enjoy these shots. I pulled some stuff that I just think are a lot of fun. Check these out. Man, if you made it this far, I salute you. Thank you for making it this far. I want to say that I really, really, really do like Sony. I have liked Sony from the beginning, and this is, I think, my 6th one. There's certain things I haven't liked. I love the EVF, and I've said that many, many times. I like holding a camera to my eye and being able to see the histogram right there, see my settings, which you can see in a DSLR anyway. You just don't get the histograms. You don't get the instant playback in the eyepiece. It's a little bit different, and I really, really like that. I think Sony has made a fantastic camera and opened up photography to many people that are not good at controlling their light. Right? With Nikon, you don't have that automatic setting. You have to know how to set your shutter, your aperture, and your ISO to get a great photo. Me personally, I rarely use the back screen unless it's for astrophotography or maybe landscapes, or if I'm doing a long exposure and setting it up and trying to get it to look right. So if you've seen some of my Instagram posts where I'm showing the back of the camera, that's because I'm doing a long exposure, and I do that a lot. But for most other photography, it's always up to my eye. I don't use the back screen. So I think Sony has opened up photography to a lot of people. You don't really have to know that much about photography to take a fantastic picture. Now, I showed a lot in this video that I normally would have dumped because they're noisier than I would normally use. I like a photo, as I've said, that I can blow up to a poster size and it's still crystal clear. There are many in here that, it looks okay. When I'm doing a video, I put it up on my big television, and if it looks good, then I keep it. If it doesn't, ask my wife. Please, ask my wife. I've redone so many different videos. I don't like something, I go back and I change it. And, you know, initially, as I said, if you've made it this far, thank you. What I don't like about Sony is the color science. Years ago, people that shot Canon would only shoot Canon because they liked that color science. It was rich, it's vibrant. Nikon also has a rich, vibrant color to it. Of the Nikons that I've shot, James's old D3200, I'll have a link down below for that video. I love the color saturation that the raw files had. And the same with the D800 for landscapes. It's just got a richness. It might not have all the clarity, but it has a richness that the D850 doesn't have. The 750 seems to have more bright. It'd be a bit brighter. And the D780 is, it's got a lot of blue, and it's beautiful. I love that deep, rich blue. So what I'm missing in Sony that I just do not like is their color science. It's flat to me, no matter how hard I push either the vibrance or the saturation. I'm constantly going into the secondary and pulling out shadows and certain colors on the shadows, or masking off to just pull out the shadows in this section to make it look like what I want. A video I did a long time ago where I was using one of the crop sensor Sonys and a 100 to 400. I found myself trying to make it look like a Nikon, and it took me all these years to realize it's the color science that I don't like. I went back and thinking, well, maybe it's just me. So I went back and I looked at a bunch of stuff from Mark Smith where he's comparing his A9 to his D500, and there's a definite difference in how rich and vibrant the Nikon color is compared to the Sony. If you think I'm wrong, you're welcome to leave a comment below that says I'm clueless, because I've been called that too. But I know what I like, and I'm going to continue to shoot this Sony A9. I'm really impressed with this autofocus. It's just the color leaves me kind of, But I'm going to have fun with it. If I'm going to do something real, like this next weekend, I'll be taking the D850 and my 500 f4. I might take, and I'll probably take the Tamron as well, because it's really versatile. I'd rather have two amazing color shots where the wings are out this way for a wildlife photography shot than 40 shots where the bird is kind of doing this and they're all sharp, but it doesn't have the richness and the vibrance that I want to see. So it's a great camera. I'm going to keep it, and I'm going to use the heck out of it. But that's what's missing to me. That's what I don't like. another thing I noticed recently, and I'm going to show a bunch of photos in through here, is James and I went out shooting the other night. And normally when I'm shooting wildlife, I leave it in auto ISO, and I bring my exposure compensation down to about a -3, maybe a -7, because that preserves the highlights. So when I'm editing my photos, I can bring out all this richness, and I still have detail in the whites. What I've noticed with Sony is that if I don't get that, even pulling that exposure compensation down. The other night I was shooting with James, and some of these photos, I was shooting at a -1, and then I went a little bit lower, and those highlights are gone. So that's just my opinion on Sony. Fantastic camera. I'm really impressed with this. No, I'm not going to go spend $6,000 to get the A1 that might do all these things. I'm going to wait for Nikon. I really am. I'm hoping that their mirrorless, if they ever come out with the Z9 or their next offering, will be a pro-level camera. It's not going to have auto, and I'm okay with that. The D850, a pro-level camera, the D800, the 810, those don't have auto, and that's the way I'm used to shooting, not in auto, unless it's video. And I love the D780 for that too, because of the color. That's it, man. Again, if you want to leave me comments below and tell me that I'm clueless, please do. I'm good with that. It's the color that leaves me lacking. But other than that, man, it's a phenomenal camera. So thank you for watching. I really do appreciate it. You guys have a fantastic day, evening, night, whatever it is you're going to be doing out there. I'll see you out on the road. Maybe I'll see you coming out of the bushes in my camouflage with a big lens in this hand. Camera, maybe I hopefully won't drop it. If I do, I do. I'll just buy another one. You guys have a fantastic day out there. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it. We'll see you. Thanks, man. Oh, wait. We'll see you. Man, that's like mother's milk. Yeah, straight Scotch. We'll see you guys.